There's a warning that tens of thousands of people who are LGBT could be trapped in Afghanistan with no prospect of escape and are at risk of being killed. It's almost a year since US, UK and other NATO forces left and the Taliban took control. The BBC has been granted special access to the world's first rescue mission, organised by the UK government, to evacuate lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender people last autumn. Our LGBT and identity correspondent Lauren Moss has more.
Everyone was desperately trying to find any way to get out of Afghanistan because it was the only chance to stay alive.
When the Taliban regained control of Afghanistan last August, many lives fell apart. LGBT people among the most at risk. Homosexuality is criminalised and punishable by death under the Taliban's interpretation of Sharia law.
Maybe killed by fire, maybe hanging.
They executed a trans person in Kabul.
Were you afraid of being killed?
Yes, many times.
Bella, Ahmed and Ali were in a small group of LGBT people that made it out in the months after the US, UK and other NATO forces left, in a secret operation that the BBC can reveal for the first time.
The anxiety was off the roof.
Ali, whose name and voice we've changed, is bisexual. He went into hiding when the Taliban seized control of Kabul.
How concerned are you about being identified?
I do have concerns for my friends and family back home because the Taliban are trying to get to our families. What they will do is arrest them, torture them and send those videos to me. They had tracking devices. Like they could hack your phone, they could hack your WhatsApp. Even a simple song was enough to get you in trouble.
Using a temporary phone, Ali contacted a charity with links to Stonewall and the UK Foreign Office. Weeks later, they got him a plane ticket and a visa. Without knowing where he was going or telling anyone he was leaving, he made up a cover story and headed to the airport, taking just a change of clothes and the equivalent of £15 in his pocket. Weeks later, he arrived in the UK.
You mean facilitating the workshops or...?
The charity Micro Rainbow helps Ali and the others adjust to their new lives. Maud, who is a lesbian refugee herself, was the first person many of them met.
It was overwhelming, and I can imagine for them as well. And literally the first thing I would say to them is, welcome, and you're safe now and you're free.
Maud and the charity got to know most of the group in the hotels they've been living in for the last several months, while their legal paperwork is completed and they try to find work. It's there I met Ahmed.
Great to see you.
He's also asked to remain anonymous. He told me some of the persecution he experienced as a gay man.
I've seen a lot of people being hurt.
Because they were LGBT?
Yeah.
Forgive me, did anything like that happen to you?
Yeah, actually, it happened.
Politicians have described the withdrawal from Afghanistan as a disaster. Despite this, the UK was the first government to offer a special relocation programme for LGBT people. Around 80, with their families, have been resettled, but there are grave fears for those still there.
There are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of LGBTQ+ people in Afghanistan. They are at risk of death. They are at risk of torture. Our biggest concern is there are no safe routes out for those people. There is no prospect, really.
The Taliban didn't respond to a request for comment. Starting over in a new country has its challenges. For the first time, Bella can openly identify as transgender, but struggles with isolation.
Are there some days when you don't speak to another person?
Yeah, because there is no person to speak with them and knows anyone to have a conversation.
The government says it expects more LGBT Afghans to arrive in the coming months. But for those still there, the uncertainty could be life or death.
My life like this sea with many waves, and Brighton is my beach. I hope staying here all my life.
Lauren Moss, BBC News.
Let's speak now to Sebastian Rocha, founder and CEO of Micro Rainbow, the charity helping LGBTQ Afghan refugees settle in the UK. Very good of you to come in to talk to us here on BBC News. Thank you. I want you first of all to tell me a little bit more about the dangers that these people are facing in the past, but also now.
Thank you, Rebecca, for having us. The reality of LGBTQI people on the ground in Afghanistan, it's really terrifying. We receive requests from people every day and they tell us that they have to be in hiding, that the Taliban are doing searches, they're searching their homes, and if they are found, they could be tortured and even killed. As I said before to others, we don't have the luxury of time. Any day, every day that goes by, it's a death sentence for many LGBTQI people on the ground.
How difficult is it to get them out then?
It is very, very difficult for various reasons, partially because it's really, really important to keep their identity safe. As we said, if they are known to be LGBTQI, they could be caught at any point in time, but also because there are no real safe routes out of Afghanistan. So we need to create more routes that are safe, that can ensure that many more LGBTQI people can come to the UK. So far, Micro Rainbow has supported 82 LGBTQI people and family members, and there could be thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Afghanistan. I mean, the sad reality is that a lot of LGBTQI people will remain in Afghanistan and in the region, but surely we can all do better to ensure that more people find safety in the UK.
And is it just the UK, or could LGBTQI people go to other countries, for example?
Well, I believe that every government in the West or who is committed to LGBTQI equality could help LGBTQI people to evacuate, to escape.
But is that happening at the moment?
Yes, there are people that are reaching Canada, for example, right, and some other people are starting to reach the US as well. So the coordinated efforts could mean that more people find safety. But at the moment, the struggle is that after this initial cohort that has arrived to the UK, it is unclear how and if more people will come to the UK.
OK, I understand. The 80 or so odd people who have come here, what sort of support does your charity offer them?
We support them to integrate in the UK. Support varies from learning about the NHS, housing, employment, but crucially also one-to-one casework to help them cope with past trauma and experiences of torture. Many of them are doing extremely well. A lot of them have found jobs, are accessing education, which is amazing to see in such a short period of time. But the reality is that while they might be functioning in their daily lives, they also need to come to terms with the fact that they have suffered abuse and violence because of their LGBTQI status, but also they have to live with the agony and the worry that their family members or loved ones or friends might be killed.
Do you get the sense that they, not that they want to be here, but that they see their stay here as being temporary and ultimately they want to go home?
I think for many of them, arriving to the UK was like freedom. For the first time, they could experience their LGBTQI identity. I think they are all very well aware that Afghanistan is not going to change anytime soon, and it won't be a country welcoming of LGBTQI people probably in our lifetime. So I think they're also very realistic that they may never see some of the people that they left behind.
Okay. Sebastian Rocker from Micro Rainbow, really good to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And you can watch Fleeing Afghanistan, Free to Be Me, and that is on the BBC iPlayer.